everybody, my name is Zoe, and I'm here to teach you about music improvisation. In part 1, we thought about how we would explain music to an alien species. We learned what improvisation, or improv, is, and we made up music that told a story using our bodies as our musical instruments. Today, we are going to expand our musical instrument to include our surroundings and the things that we might find in our home and in the world around us. I'm going to be working outside for this portion of our class. If you have a safe and comfortable place to work outside too, you are more than welcome to. But if not, or if maybe it's pouring with rain, you can do this inside too. The type of music that we're going to make today is called eco music, which is the word for music that has a relationship with the natural environment. Whether you are outside or inside, your music will be shaped by the things that are around you. I'm going to show you now a few examples of what this might look like. The first example is a piece of music called Stones, Water, Time, Breath by Dean Rosenthal. And if you were to look at the music for this piece, it reads, "This piece should take place outside, by the water, any body of water, like a pond, the ocean, a lake, a stream, a river." Materials: stones, as many or as few as desired. Maybe they are already there. Performance: arrive, set a start time, start. Use the stones as elements or implements to make percussion sounds on the water. Play the water with the stones. Play alone, together, rhythmically, with solos, tuplets, common rhythms, irregular rhythms, cycles, patterns, or with no rhythms. There can be pauses. There should be no speaking. When you feel the piece has ended, end the performance for any number of performers. In part 1, we talked about how sometimes improvisation has certain rules. Well, stones, water, time, breath has rules, doesn't it? Although, they're not the type of rules that require you to take music lessons to understand. We could all play that piece right now if we were to get together at the ocean. I'll show you one more example. This is a part of a piece of music called Songbird Songs by John Luther Adams. It uses percussion, like drums, and flutes and little flutes called piccolos to imitate bird songs, just like the bird songs that we listened to in part 1. Believe it or not, even though songbird songs is actually composed, meaning it's written down on music, it actually uses a lot of improvisation too. Even though a lot of the notes are written out for the musicians get to decide certain things, such as when they'll play those notes, how often they would like to play those notes, and how quickly or slowly, loudly or quietly they want to play those notes. So wherever it is that you are now, I want you to get really quiet for a minute, and together we're going to listen to what sounds we can hear in our environments. If you're outside like me, you might hear some animals, such as birds, insects, or family pets. You might hear neighbors talking and children playing. You might hear water dripping, cars driving by, airplanes overhead. If you're indoors, you might hear the dishwasher running or the fridge buzzing. You might hear a TV in another room or a parent on a phone call. You might hear the air conditioning or a pet or a sibling making sounds. So let's take 1 minute and listen together. I heard so many things. What about you? All right, now we've listened. Let's start to make some sounds. So you're welcome to use your body as a musical instrument, just like you did in part 1. But you can also now use the things you might find around you to add to those sounds and to find new sounds. Maybe you'll use the floor. If you're indoors, I wonder if the carpet or the hard floor sounds different. And if you're outdoors, I bet you'll find you can get some really different sounds on the driveway, on grass, and on dirt. And maybe there are props around you, such as pots and pans in your kitchen, a jar of pennies, sticks and stones, or anything else that you can find. I'm going to use this stone I found in my garden, as well as this plant pot. All right, so let's start thinking about how we're going to combine coming up with our own sounds, like we did in part 1, with listening to our environment, like we just did a moment ago. You're about to become a part of your environment. You will be among the birds and the bugs, perhaps among the vacuum cleaners and dishwashers of your home. What will your role be? Will you be the creator who guides the sounds of your environment? Will you be the changer who introduces new sounds to those spaces? Perhaps you'll be the imitator who hears something and echoes it back. Or maybe you'll be the observer who sits mostly quietly and just takes in what you hear, contributing no sounds except for your breath and your heartbeat. Those are all wonderful ways of being an improviser and a musician. So for the next minute, I'm going to make music with my environment out here. I'll try on different roles throughout the improvisation, going from observing to changing to imitating and maybe back. And when I'm done, we'll review what we did today, and then you can go ahead and make music with your environment. So I just made up music for you, right here on the spot, using nothing but my mind, my body, and my environment. And you can do this too, right now, and anytime that you might feel like interacting with your environment, making some music, and finding stillness and peace. So that's it for today. In part 3, we're going to talk about improvising music with our friends and our family. So goodbye for now, and I'll see you in part 3.